Yeah, I think I got my wires crossed there for a second. We were going from the output to the...
You know, after that conversation with your sister on Facebook about all the wires, you said they were completely necessary, and she said you were so complicated. I'm sure she'll really enjoy the fact that you got your wires crossed.
They were important. All right, let's go ahead and mute this guy because it's going to be driving me crazy. All right, I think that we're live now.
Okay.
All right, can we hear you? Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the homestead.
Can you hear us? If you can hear us, like...
We're having some technical difficulties with my wiring. You got one goes in and one goes out, and it just gets a little complicated. Are you good?
I'm good.
You got your coffee? You don't got your coffee?
I drank all my coffee already.
Hey, Ms. Farms. Up there in, you're in New Hampshire, right? New Hampshire? You're not live. Nobody hears you. Can you hear me now, though?
I can hear you. Oh, good.
Okay.
Good.
All right.
Perfect.
Good deal. That makes me happy. Hi. Yes, we're on our live.
Apparently we're supposed to...
Children, we're on our live.
We're supposed to give notice to our children before that happens.
Yes, it's important. All right, go eat dinner. There's our daughter. Yep. Oh, we're just all kinds of amazing tonight, aren't we?
We have a bonus dog in the background.
Bonus dogs and everything.
We have a bonus dog.
My pencil isn't sharp.
Pets. Man, you're just a mess tonight.
It's work went a little bit later than I was expecting, and so I've been scrambling to get everything set up and ready. Oh my goodness. So how you been? I feel like I haven't seen you at all.
I know.
All week.
We've had a very different couple of weeks, or a week and a half at this point. I think a very different couple of weeks than what we are typically used to. So
yeah,
we typically do just about everything together, and here at home, including work from home and whatnot. But as you've started your new job, it has been very different. So lots of trainings and things for you where we have to keep the house really quiet, which is a definite challenge. But it's been okay. We've been doing okay.
Yeah, you've been doing really well.
Hi, Powers.
Hey, Jennifer.
Hey, Jojo and Jen. Hey, guys.
Yay.
And Dean. Hi, Dean.
What's up, Dean? see if that works. Yeah, it pops up. Howdy, y'all, he says.
I see
it's
that.
on the
yes.
screen.
Thank you.
I did that.
That's so good. You did
like
great.
that?
Yes.
Yeah. And then if we want to select Miss Jennifer, Jojo and
How about that?
Hey.
So now we can actually see the comments.
Yep. So, Christina, you're going to have to say hello to your friend. Jojo's watching us. Oh my goodness. Well, so yeah, we've got some updates for the homestead. What's going on?
Not a lot happening this week.
No.
We've really kind of, I feel like, hunkered down with your new job and
Been a
trying
little
to-
bit busy.
Yeah. So I think that'll all normalize.
I did get to go outside yesterday. That was a lot of fun. I had a field day, so I've taken a new position in sales, and it's an outside sales position, but because the office is remote, it's actually up in Ohio. They do everything, all the training virtually. So I've been sitting here at my computer with my monitors up and cameras on, doing a lot of Zoom meetings and trainings, and the kids have had to be quiet so that I can focus and look professional. It's all about looking professional.
It's all about faking it.
So, but yesterday I got to go out in the field and talk to people and set some appointments, and had a really good time with our regional director. And yeah, so kind of getting my feet underneath me, and hopefully this week will be the last of all that. Then it'll just be me kind of checking in every once in a while.
Back to more of what we consider normal here,
Yeah.
I'd say. So
Random meetings here at the house, but then me going out and doing my sales calls
Sure.
during the week, and then coming home and taking care of things. But yeah, it's been cold. It's been nice and cold, huh?
it has been. Well, it's been chilly. I think it's been good. Warm, maybe kind of in the afternoons, but
Imperial No, Germany is here.
okay. Hi.
Okay, excellent. We'll try to keep our eyes on what
But
we
it
do.
it did frost
Uh-huh,
early.
yeah.
What, like a week?
Yeah, it was like a week early for the frost in Tennessee. Normally, our frost hits anywhere between October 16th and October 30th.
Right.
And this year it was, I think, October 7th,
Wow.
which was our first frost. And they're expecting more cold weather. And
Colder. I think even
first-
colder.
Our first freeze with like temperatures 28 degrees or
Ooh.
low on the 28th?
Wow.
18th?
Yeah.
28th? I don't know. It's next week, I think.
And
End of next week.
it's been incredibly dry.
Yes.
It has not rained but I looked it up today. It hasn't rained here in Middle Tennessee since, what did I say, since September
Yeah.
12th.
Mm-hmm.
Since September 12th. And so we finally
Yes, today.
got some rain today,
rained.
but not a considerable amount.
That's right. Not a considerable amount. Just enough.
Yeah, and I hear that after the rain today, it's just going to return to really cold and really dry weather for another really long stretch.
Awesome. That's great.
So
Yeah. So this is the longest our creek has been dried in a long time.
maybe burn bans in our future,
Oh, good gracious.
probably.
We should burn everything now then.
Because you should probably.
Burn it. Burn it all. We've got a lot of burning to do. I've got piles up in Bush Hog Hollow that still haven't been burnt. I've got this big pile down here in our lower field here that next to the house that hasn't been burnt. We really need to do some prescribed burns in the woods because things are getting a little out of hand.
Well, I think we're getting a little more rain tomorrow, and then this weekend, hopefully the ground will be just a little bit moist, and before the next dry spell comes in, might be a good time to do that.
Yep. Maybe.
Maybe.
If she'll let me get out there with a
We'll s-
blowtorch.
We'll see.
She's kind of afraid of fire. I'm like, it's just fire. Stay out of its way and you'll be fine.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Arson.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I have a feeling I know who Imperial Germany is.
Who do you think Imperial Germany is?
I have a feeling it's.
It's another one of those munchkins that our son hangs out
I
with.
think so.
So, well, I've got different camera angles. You knew that? So now,
Great.
Now I'm looking right there.
Okay.
And I think we froze. Did we freeze? I don't know. Hopefully we didn't freeze too much. Oh, there we go.
Are we
woke
fine?
back up. So I am Shaphan, and this is my wife Holly.
Oh,
And-
wow. That's terrible. Don't do that.
And together we are Hurricane Homestead, along with our 3 kids.
I bet they know.
Well, to be known, I actually don't know who Imperial Germany is.
Okay, sounds like I have several.
I think I probably know who Imperial
Yeah.
Germany is,
Yeah,
but that's
pretty
okay.
confident with that. And together with our 3 kids, our 3 dogs, plus a bonus dog this week,
Yep, that's right.
and 3 rabbits,
3, yep, that's right.
and 22 chickens,
He has a lot of chickens.
and a few thousand bees.
Just a few things
and
we're
we're-
into
we're-
these days.
Learning how this whole homesteading thing works. We're moving forward with the desire and ambitions to be a little bit more self-sustaining and be able to provide for our family and provide for those around us without relying so much on outside influences. But so yeah, the chickens have been laying like crazy.
Yes, they
As
have.
soon as they started laying, it just like started. I was getting 1 and 2 eggs, and then jumped up to like 6 eggs, and now we're bringing in anywhere from 16 to 22 eggs every day.
Lots of double yolks,
Lots of double yolks.
which is nice.
yeah. So
It's like 2 eggs for the price of 1.
it's like bonus eggs,
Bonus
but they
egg.
don't fit in the cartons, so you have to eat them right
Oh.
away. Yeah. And then we've got we're still feeding the bees. They have been eating a lot of the sugar water that we've been feeding them. So I got some more of that from your dad, and he was just telling me that he applied for a agricultural grant.
Yeah,
So
I heard about this.
Tennessee really likes to promote agriculture. So every year they put out development grants to help farmers with their growing enterprises. And he is an apiarist, a beekeeper.
Apiarist?
I don't know. I think I just made that word up.
Probably.
He's got like what, 12 or 16 hives there at his house.
He's a lot. I mean, his whole backyard feels like
So we've got
Bees
2
and garden.
hives here on our property. Yay! Thanks for showing up, scrapping and loving it. That's
I haven't figured out who Imperial Germany is.
okay. Good job, Silas. He's on the case. That's my favorite sister too. By the way.
Is it?
Yeah. So you can tell that I've got fans all over the world.
It's my favorite sister-in-law.
Is it really?
Absolutely. No contest.
Yeah, I guess you can say
It's not
that.
even close.
Yeah. Yeah, he applied for a grant to expand his apiary, and we are going to be Site 2 or Site B for his apiary, and we possibly, in the future, maybe this spring, be expanding to 20 hives
That is just
here on the property.
truly terrifying.
Now, it doesn't mean all of them are going to stay here, but we do have lots of space to spread out. What his intentions are is to actually rent hives out to local arborists and farmers and people that are growing different things,
Yeah.
so that they can produce more yield in their crops, and he can grow more bees and have more production. The key is being able to find people local enough to home base,
Yeah.
so that we don't spend more money in gas driving around checking on bees than it's worth.
But if you're an extension of him, then we can utilize this area.
Yep,
And
exactly.
he can utilize the area in and around where he's at.
Yep, it's going to be lots of fun.
Should be.
And then he just got squeezy bottles for his honey.
Oh, we have. Well, hey there. Well, this is Willow.
This is Willow. She
Willow
likes
is a
attention.
guest here. Our good friends are traveling this week, and they entrusted their baby to us. And she's very good friends with our babies, aren't you? Yes. So she's been a very sweet dog. So, Willis family, if you watch this later, your baby's making a
Yep.
debut here.
Hello, Willow. I call her little sad puppy.
You do look like a little
She
sad
does
puppy.
look like a little sad puppy.
All right, Willow.
All right.
Here we go.
get on
Good
out
girl.
of here. Okay, so yeah, that's about it for homestead updates.
Yeah, not a lot going on right now. Just with all the
Just
new
lots of
work things that were kind of
Lots of work.
yeah.
So now it's time for In the News.
Oh my goodness. I'm only a little embarrassed.
Oh, so you looked up some news stories for this week, right?
I did because I felt like all the ones that you looked up for last week were off topic.
I mean,
So I decided that I would help.
I like lots of news. Did you hear that Blake Shelton's not coming back to The Voice?
I did hear that.
Yeah.
I don't watch that show.
It's like been 23 years. It started in like 2011.
Yeah, but again, remember, like,
22 years.
not on topic. So
Oh, that's true. It's not on topic.
So
So
I
I
picked you
shouldn't
out
talk about that.
some news articles that are on topic.
Picked out some news articles that are on topic here. Let me close this this window out real quick before we get to...
You know what my least favorite part of these lives is?
What's the least favorite
Like
part?
I see how exhausted I look. Like I can see exhaustion all over my face.
Oh, well, I feel exhausted. I mean, you wouldn't think that sitting here for 8 hours a day on meetings would be exhausting, but it wears you out. I mean, I have a lot of fun and they're great people, but it's just like...
You are not good at sitting still.
No, I like to move around. I do have my camera set up so I can stand up on occasion and sit down and stand up.
Yeah.
So that's helpful, but yeah, it gets a little exhausted. So yeah, let's oh oh yeah. Do you want to start with yours or do you want to do mine?
Oh, you're just flipping around.
Yeah, I mean we got a couple of options here.
All right, well you go.
Okay, all right. So here's an article that I found that is, I don't know what this warning is. I don't know. That's probably some crazy thing. But anyways, if you have vets or animals that you take to the vets, we should just have a vet. We should just keep them in the basement.
You should continue.
Right. Prices are going up. There's an expected 10% price hike. Yeah, where was it?
7.4%.
Yeah, it was 7.4% in August, but yeah, they're expected upwards of 12.4% price increases at the vet, which is, oh yeah, here it is. Jumped 10% in the past year. Government data shows it's the biggest such spike on records dating back 2 decades. So the inflation situation is affecting everyone, including vets.
Yep.
Medication costs are going up, labor costs are going up, everything's going up. And so are vet bills.
Food costs are going
Food
up.
costs are going up. It's crazy.
Yep.
It's unbelievable.
Yep. It's
you know
really
how-
it's sad how much you have to spend at the grocery store to come home with precious little food.
So we were spending $45 on a bag of dog food from Tractor Supply 6 months ago. And in 6 months, it's jumped up to over $54 for that same bag.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable. But yeah, so watch out. Pocketbooks are getting hit again.
Well,
so.
and so that actually kind of segues into the wheat problem.
Yeah. So there's a situation here. I don't know what she's saying.
That's okay. Basically, just because of droughts in the Midwest and high costs, the war with Russia and Ukraine, the price of wheat is going up significantly. So farmers are seeing a significantly lower yield.
Well, it's kind of like a perfect storm of everything. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
The cost of fuel is going up, right?
That's right.
The cost of fertilizer has skyrocketed because of the war on farmers. There's droughts affecting.
So this is I was reading that this is
most
actually
places.
the third straight year of drought for the Midwest, just due to the La Nina conditions, and that they're just these farmers are really struggling. So their yield is significantly less.
Yep.
and it's just getting more and more expensive for them.
Yeah, it said on Monday, benchmark wheat prices spiked to a 2-week high of $9.42 a bushel.
Yeah.
The index for that category surged 11.4 over 12 months, 11.4% over 12 months, the biggest gain since 1979.
Yeah.
What was there was some place in here that said like a year ago the price for, oh yeah, right here, $9.50 a bushel, whereas a year ago it was $5.62
Yeah.
for a bushel. So
But
it's gonna.
This is something that, you know, everybody needs to sort of be aware of, I think, because it's going to all culminate. I mean, you may
Yeah.
not be feeling the effects of this just yet, and it may be easy enough to find wheat and flour and things like that in your grocery store, but it may not always be. And I think that they're even anticipating, you know, maybe some of that happening even this winter into next year. So.
Yeah. So Dean says, big picture, homestead question here. What's the most rewarding thing about this lifestyle?
Wow.
Honestly, it's for me, it's the community that we've been able to be a part of. Just all the love from not only our online community, but the people around us. I mean, being able to, we lived in Smyrna for 5 years and knew maybe 2 people on our street, and you could throw a rock any direction we wanted to and hit any one of like 400 houses. And then we move out here, and within a month, 2 months, we knew almost everybody on a 5-mile stretch of our road.
That's right.
And it's community is what I love. What about you? You love the lack of community.
No, I was honestly, I was struggling to figure out what my answer to that would be, and I was going to say everything.
Yeah.
Everything. I don't. There are things that are challenging, and we're not even that good at it. I mean, I always, whenever we call ourselves homesteaders, I always use the quote, air quotes. You know,
Yeah.
we're homesteaders, but we are working on it. We're trying to be more and more all the time. But Dean, I'll say this: it's impossible to even take a small step in the direction of homesteading and not every day recognize and appreciate the beauty and the glory of the Creator.
Yeah. It's pretty special.
Yeah,
I-
it's wonderful.
When we moved out here, so we've owned this, well, it's been in my family for a number of years, this property, and it's always been really special to come out here. And one of the first things that I was telling Holly that I was concerned about was that special feeling, the excitement, the warm fuzzies would dissipate over time. And we've been here nearly 7 years now, and
Yeah.
they do not. Every time I come up over the hill and I see the rolling fields and ridges and hills and turn down our little road, it just gives me chills up my back and makes me happy. So
There's
love
new
living
life.
here.
There's
Yep.
there's constantly new life on the homestead, whether it's something that we're responsible for or just is part of creation and part of the beauty of the woods and the area around us. What? Well
So-
said, Holly. Shaphan, good enough.
yeah,
You're
That's
my
why-
favorite,
that's
Dean.
why I have her on here, so she can keep me in line. So, but yeah, we sure do love living out here and
It's
being
just-
part.
It's just impossible
Yeah.
not to recognize those things.
So, and it's positioned us to be in a place where we can start to learn how to handle ourselves in a way that we can be prepared for disasters that are looming around us. Not to go, claiming the sky is falling, but it's clear that food is going to be more difficult,
Yeah.
and we're in a position where we can learn how to
We don't-
support ourselves and maintain.
We don't claim
our own.
to know how to do that. We are terrible gardeners, and
We're
we
the
work at
worst.
it every single year, every single season. We'll keep working at it. But I'm grateful that we have the opportunity and the resources, the land,
Yeah.
and the animals that can help produce our own fertilizer and things of that nature. I'm really grateful for all of those things that really help us to be able to not have as much fear for the coming whatever coming difficulties there would be, but instead just a desire to be prepared and the ability to do so.
Yeah, yeah. absolutely. So, but that brings us to this article, is because, you know, food prices are going up, and like the reference to that article that I brought up last week or a couple weeks ago, where you think that food prices are bad right now, wait till there's food shortages. And that's going to be a whole nother issue, because I don't know if it's a war on food or a war on people, but something is going on, and it's making it rather difficult for people to be able to grow the things that they need to grow.
You referenced the perfect storm, but you know, some of that is an engineered perfect storm.
Some of it, and I don't know if it's on purpose or not, but it's definitely very convenient, including like the war in Ukraine. I mean, I don't think that that's intentionally trying to starve us, but it definitely is. Speaking of the war in Ukraine, did you hear?
Oh, I did. Yes, I like this one.
Right.
This one you came up with, but I like it.
Right. So Putin, he turned 70 years old, and the leader of Belarus gives Putin a tractor.
A tractor.
Apparently, Belarus is known for their tractors, and so he was very proud and gave Putin a tractor for his birthday. It's not yet clear what Putin thought of the gift. He didn't comment on it, but he got a tractor.
I gotta say, I think Putin's a little unhinged, but what man doesn't like a tractor?
I mean, I think
right?
that this is a great like fad to get started. You know, giving men tractors for their birthday. Yeah. I mean, I would appreciate a tractor for my birthday.
Pretty sure you maybe got a tractor for birthday, Christmas, and for every holiday we'll ever have forever.
Yes. So I love my tractor, my big old John Deere 4052. That's right. And then what else? Oh yeah. Did we talk about New Zealand and their war on farmers?
Yeah, so this is interesting. So New Zealand is wanting to tax their farmers for the methane that their animals produce. New Zealanders are significantly outnumbered by the number of sheep and cattle that they have there in their country, and that would be a substantial thing. And let's just say news of them wanting to do this really did not go over very well. No.
So it says New Zealand's government on Tuesday proposed taxing the greenhouse gases that farm animals make from burping and peeing as part of a plan to tackle climate change. The government said farm levy would be the world's first, and that farmers should be able to recoup the cost by charging more for climate-friendly products.
Yes. So I don't think the farmers are going to have it. I don't think that this is actually going to become an issue, but you know, that's okay. I did look at another article on this topic, and apparently this isn't the first time that they've tried this. Back in maybe it might have been 1922. I mean, it was a really long time ago. New Zealand had somebody else propose this, and
really?
it didn't go over. But back then they called it, and I'm not even kidding, this is true, this is a quote, the fart tax. They called it the fart tax, and I can't believe I just said that, because that's not like me at all, but that's what they called it. And so now they're referencing that and saying that they're not happy that this particular tax is back on the table. So hopefully it won't go over any better this time than it did last time, and New Zealanders won't be dealing with that.
So what did one burp say to the other burp?
Oh my goodness. I can't believe I don't know.
Hey, let's be a little stinker and go out the other end.
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry for that. I am. This is live. I can only have so much control.
Oh, goodness gracious. Yep, so that's what's in the news. We've got vet bills going up. New Zealand is taxing belching from cows.
Probably a wheat shortage.
Putin's getting
and
a
definitely
tractor.
more expensive flour and wheat products.
And the articles that didn't quite make it, there was a giant pumpkin in California. You know, setting records.
Honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Blake Shelton is not going to be on The Voice anymore.
And somehow you snuck it in there, didn't you?
I did. Got it right in there. And it's been raining today.
And it's been raining.
Oh,
Yay.
did you want to see that video?
Yeah, you should show that video.
Here, this is a video. My son and daughter were working out at the Cedarwood Pumpkin Patch in McMinnville, and it started raining. I'll play this.
So our son, the gentleman that he is, let his sister run out into the rain to retrieve the items that were being blown all around. They had to pick up a trash can. There was a trash can that blew around. This is I don't know what that is, but it blew away. It's a pump, a hippity hop, whatever you call it. But it blew away, and they were having to chase all of these items all over the place.
But yeah, they've been enjoying that that opportunity. It's a little.
If I have a child watching this, please bring me a ponytail holder.
Okay. It's
Thanks.
She says on it. But they've had their little. They're working like Fridays and Saturdays. Silas is working some in the week when he's finished up with school. But it's just a little seasonal job. A good opportunity for them to be getting an income for Christmas coming up and being able to be a little bit more responsible.
They've really enjoyed
with
it, though,
their,
very much.
with their own finances. Boink. Here we go. You are so good, grammar. Oh, that means talking.
Right.
Gotcha. All right, excellent. So that was in the news. Now on to our main topic. Do you know what we're talking about tonight?
I do, but I also know that I'm not very good at it. So, you should talk.
So yeah.
But I can talk about how I'm not good at it.
I didn't have time to type out my notes on this because I was running a little bit
So you're just
behind.
kind of like.
So it's all been mulling around up in my head for the past week or so because we kind of decided on this last week. So yeah, we'll just kind of wing it and see what comes up with it. But when you think of goals versus ambitions, that's what we're talking about, is setting goals and following ambitions. When you think of goals versus ambitions, what do you think of?
Oh, me? Oh, I was right in the middle of this.
What
so.
do you think of?
I think you gotta. Didn't you tell me like a 15-second delay? So you gotta sit there and wait for 15 seconds until somebody answers you. Yeah, bringing me my ponytail holder.
So what is it that you think of when you consider your goals or ambitions?
Well,
what
I
comes to mind?
always think back to our IEP meetings.
Okay.
When we used to, when our kids were in
For
public
those
school.
of the audience that may not understand what an IEP meeting is, why don't you explain what that is?
So an IEP meeting is a meeting that you have with school officials as a parent if your child needs special assistance or help while they're in school.
Like, specific if they have a medical condition or something that prevents them from being able to learn like the rest of
They just need
the
accommodations. So it helps you to be able to work with the teachers and the staff at the school to be able to put those things in place for your child so that they can learn appropriately.
Yeah.
I prefer starting with a brain dump and write all ideas and then maybe pull a couple out to the front to work with. Yeah, for sure.
That was on my list.
So yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah, I think that makes good sense. But so one of the things, I learned, I feel like that I had, I don't think I fully understood what a goal was until sitting through those IEP meetings. And because one of the things that they kept saying to me was that, a goal was measurable.
Yep.
That you had to have a way to measure that goal to be able to say if you had reached it or not. Mm-hmm. And so I struggle with that, creating or setting goals that are measurable.
Yep. Okay. Well, I mean, and that's exactly right. And I think that's kind of part of what sets apart goals from ambitions. The other thing that's important about a goal to me is that it's obtainable. You can't set a goal that isn't realistic, that can't be obtained. That's not really a goal if it's measurable. But I have a goal of growing 7 inches this year.
Nah.
That's not really attainable. So it wouldn't really be a good goal to have.
Sure.
So in my mindset, in my thought process, goals are those things that you can have direct influence on.
Hmm.
So, say, losing weight.
Right.
You can have direct influence on losing weight. So you can set a goal. Hey, I'm going to lose this much weight in this amount of time. And then you have a measurable result. I've lost this much weight at this point and things like that. And you can kind of see how things
Right.
go. But something that's not necessarily measurable or not something that you can necessarily have full effect on would be, I want to have a healthy life.
Hmm.
And so to me, something like that would be more of an ambition or a farther off point, a direction that we're aiming for, but not necessarily something that's
Sure.
measurable or that we can say, hey, I have complete control over this. Because let's face it, I mean, I've known many healthy people who have contracted terrible diseases and their life
Right.
did not turn out to be healthy. But pursuing those things, I think, is what makes an ambition different than a goal.
Well, and the word ambition, I feel like, can take on a lot of different forms.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things I was reading on earlier today, trying to have a better understanding of our topic, because I really struggle with this. I really do. Can that be a goal that I want to get better at goal setting? Is that? Nope, almost. See, I'm not good at this. So, but one of the things I was reading is that, they were saying, a goal is sort of the end,
Mm-hmm.
and the ambition is kind of the journey.
Yeah.
And so it's sort of the means to get to the goal. And so some of the things that you accomplish along the way and that carries you through to that end product.
Right. Yeah, so think of it like...
You're going to teach me now.
Think of
Great.
it like... Okay, I won't teach you.
No, it's okay.
You're
It's
right.
okay.
I shouldn't have just jumped into mansplaining about this.
No, it's okay.
I like to think of it as a bullseye.
Uh-huh.
And you've got a bullseye and you've got, rings that, kind of give you a measurable account of where you're hitting. But you're aiming for the center.
Right.
Right? You're always aiming for that center. Now, whether or not you hit the center is dependent on the things that you do.
Right.
So you can have a goal that says, I am going to practice
Right.
shooting my arrows this many times a day.
Right.
And the ambition is always to hit that center.
Right.
Doesn't mean it always does.
So I think when we set goals here for our land, for our homes,
Yeah.
for our homestead,
Uh-huh.
when we set goals here, I feel like I want to set goals like tasks that
Yeah.
I want completed.
Mm-hmm.
So if I want for us to build a woodshed,
Yes.
then to me, you say, well, what are our goals for the homestead this year? And I would say, we build a woodshed. And you're like, that is not a goal.
That's not a goal. That's not a goal because...
To me, it's totally measurable because I know when that sucker's done, it's when it's done.
Yes, you're right. But that brings me to my other point, is that a goal without a purpose is, or it could be futile, or it could be detrimental to the progress that you're trying to make.
I understand, yes. And so the real purpose behind building a woodshed
Would be to have enough firewood
Yep.
stored and dried for the season.
exactly.
And so if we have a goal,
So really the goal is to have enough firewood stored and dry for the season.
and then
And one of the tasks along the way is build a woodshed.
build a woodshed, right?
Right.
So
I do understand, but I always want to set the goal as the tasks that I want to complete.
Mhm.
That's always the way that I approach goal
Right.
setting on the homestead.
And
it's,
that's because you're the planner. And that's all part of goal setting. Because a goal without a plan to get there, that's just as worthless as having a goal with no purpose behind it.
Yeah.
Because if you say, I'm going to set a goal, I'm going to lose 20 pounds this
right,
winter.
but if you give me, like, if you hand me the goals, like the end product that you say, these are our goals, now plan it.
Yeah.
What's the map? How are we going to get there? Sometimes, having enough firewood to, last us the winter, sometimes that's like a big abstract idea and you really have to kind of break it down into those
Yeah.
steps and, in order to get there.
So, Scrapping and Loving It says, a goal is an attainable dream with a plan.
Attainable dream.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's a plan to get there, and it's those steps that are along the way, and it's. But I would say it's a little bit more defined than just a dream.
Yeah.
She's absolutely right. But
Oh,
I think
definitely.
that dream is that ambition part, that part that moves you forward. Because let's face it, if our ambition was to be self-sustainable, completely self-sustained, and maybe like off-grid, if our ambition was to be off-grid here on the homestead, and step one was to store up enough firewood for the season, that may change.
Right.
That may change in the future if we change how we are eventually heating our house. Because right now we have electricity, and if we decide, hey, we're going to turn off electricity, we're going to need a whole lot more firewood.
Right.
So we might need to build a bigger woodshed in the future.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Taking that ambition is that far off point, whereas the goal is something that I can obtain within reason and work towards right now. And I think it's important to have ambitions and goals, because ambitions really guide you on your path of which goals you're trying to set. I can think back to many times since even in our decision to move out here, where those ambitions are what helped us to make the right decisions.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And it's and be okay with making decisions that you didn't think were what you needed to make, but if they lined up with the ambition, with the end game, that end vision, then that will help you on your journey, and it prevents you from making decisions that are detrimental
Yes.
to that vision as well. To make a plan. Oh, she's got lots of nuggets of information. She says, to make the plan, I list all the things that I need to happen to make it there, and then assign an order of operations and a timeline to make it happen. And I share it with a family or friend. And that's exactly right. So, if you have an ambition, and then you set goals of things that align with those ambitions,
Right.
and then you make a plan to achieve those goals. So we have a goal to provide more food for our family from here on the homestead and use the resources that we have. So what did we do? We grew our own chickens.
Yep.
Right?
We did.
We got more layer chickens
Mhm.
this year. We even got some roosters so we can experiment with fertilized eggs at some point.
Which we had one of this morning.
You did have a fertilized egg, didn't you?
Yeah.
It wasn't too fertilized. It's
No,
still-
no, but you can tell, like
Yeah.
when you go to cook an egg, you can tell by looking at it if it's fertilized or not. And it was the first time I had ever seen
Yeah.
an egg that I could definitively say was fertilized. So that was fun.
Yeah. And then we've got rabbits that we're attempting to breed for
Which is actually going
meat.
much better. I think
Yeah.
much progress. So I think we might finally be getting those hormones moving in the right direction.
Right.
And I think maybe by
I think the
end of
colder
this week,
temperatures kind of get them a little frisky too.
we might have a little
some success with it.
some success. So
some
we'll
success.
see. We're just going to keep at it. But so we did that, and then we also expanded our garden. Our garden was bigger this year.
Well, kind of, sort of.
Well, the area was bigger.
The area was bigger.
We
But-
ended up
but I
in a
had-
very busy season. That
It was
was
it's
a little
interesting
complicated.
because my goal for the garden this year was to come up with a weed control plan.
I feel like
that
that
was
was
feasible.
absolutely something that we did do effectively.
And we effectively had controlled the weeds for the most part, and with minimal effort was able to keep those weeds at bay. I did not keep up with bug control,
So
but
actually,
we've had success with that in the past.
we rotated some of our plants from last year, which we always do, but we between the year before last and last year, the rotation I would say is not very far
Right.
from where the original place was. So, but I feel like that really helped with like our squash bugs and other things this year, we really didn't deal with those
Yes.
in the same way. So we had healthier plants, I would say.
So, and I've got a desire, which is like an undeveloped goal,
Ah,
to to grow some garlic. And so if I have a goal to grow garlic, step one in the plan to grow garlic, right? And that would be,
I think you spelled that wrong.
no, I spelled it perfectly right because it's in
Okay.
pencil and I can correct it.
Gotcha.
Step one would be to prepare a place for the garlic,
Right?
right? But maybe step one would be to order the garlic. What should I do first?
Well, maybe step one would be to find out what garlic likes.
What garlic likes?
Yeah, like what.
It likes the ground or the pantry.
So we have raised beds. We have a garden bed in the ground. We
Mm-hmm.
have there's some mulch and other things in
Mhm.
our raised beds, and some plants do really well like that, and some don't. So when I
So-
say find out what garlic likes, I mean
so you're
we've
saying-
never grown garlic
you're
before.
saying
We might
research.
want to educate ourselves on growing garlic,
So I have done some research.
but it's still the first step. See, even if
Okay.
you already did it, it's
That's
still
right.
step
All
one.
right. Research the necessary things, right? Right. So in setting a goal, understand what it's going to take to get there, or at least have a good understanding. It's not going to be perfect by any means.
Right.
And then start implementing tasks.
Mm.
So like Scrap and Lovett said, list out your tasks. So I've got to prepare a garden. So I've got to clean out those garden beds and get those ready to be planted. I've got to order the garlic, and then I've got to set aside time to plant the garlic. And then once the garlic starts to sprout, you have to cover the garlic with things like straw and then let it winter. And that's, according to my research, all you have to do. So that would be a good goal for next year, is to harvest some garlic. And so that means I need to implement these things to accomplish that goal. So setting a plan. A goal is just what? Or prioritize.
If a goal is just a to-do list, there's no reason to accomplish or prioritize it. Oh, I disagree. I mean, I do think a goal and a to-do list are totally different things. Absolutely, I do understand that. But
Yeah, I mean, a to-do list is
But-
more like unclogging the kitchen sink.
I love a to-do list, and I love marking things off, and I like looking at a piece of paper that has everything on that to-do list marked off. And to me, that is motivation and
You know what I
reason
like
to
to do?
prioritize it. So
You know what I like to do? I like to make my to-do list about midday, and that way I can put all the things that I've already done on the to-do list and check them off.
I think that's cheating. I think that's cheating.
You're like, what has occupied my morning so far? We'll put all those on the to-do list so I can check them off.
Right.
So setting a goal means making a plan to attain that goal.
Right.
And if you don't have a plan, if you don't have a way to measure, if you don't have a way to see if you've actually obtained that goal, then I wouldn't really consider it a goal. And a goal has to align with the ambitions that you set forth and the ultimate direction that you want to move, that you want to move in.
Right.
So that's kind of some of my thoughts. So some other
So
ambitions that we have with the homestead in being a little bit more self-sustainable and a little bit more less reliant on food. I mean, ultimately, I would love to have, we got this little fly flying around us. Ultimately, I would love to have a fully functioning homestead farm where we've got the land maintained and not overgrown, and we've got places for animals to thrive, and we've got developed pastures and developed woodlands and old growth timber that we can pull resources from and all these things. But it takes baby steps to get there.
right.
You have this big gigantic vision, and I think that sometimes my big gigantic vision overwhelms you,
It can, sure.
and it says, yeah, that's great, how in the world are we going to do that? We don't know anything about this stuff.
Right.
But it takes baby steps. Maybe step one is read a book on growing grass, which I've been doing.
That sounds really
It's
interesting.
riveting.
But
It cuts
so
right to the.
so short-term goals, long-term goals.
Oh.
You know, I think it's important that if you're taking a journey like we are, that you set goals, and that then you take small chunks out of them, a little bit at a time, have a plan to achieve them, and
Yep.
you know,
So
move forward.
that plan is important, and then inevitably something will throw a wrench in everything,
Sure.
and you have to be able to adapt, and you have to be able to know when to quit,
Yeah.
when to say, hey, this isn't working, let's take a step back.
Yeah, we're bad about that. I feel like.
Why do you say that?
Well, we are. I mean, definitely. So we'll set goals, and then if something's not working, you know, it's not that we're discouraged. I think that some people get discouraged. I don't feel like we get super discouraged. I think that there's just so many other things going on that we have a tendency to sometimes abandon that goal and then turn our focus to
Right.
something else, maybe another goal, maybe, you know, but instead I think that we could work on being more flexible
Yeah.
and just saying, okay, so this goal isn't working as is.
Or the plan to
or
reach
the
that
plan
goal.
isn't working as is. So let's either adjust it or let's reevaluate this goal
Yeah.
and whether or not this is actually a priority for us right now. It may be something that we put on the back burner, or maybe something that we adjust and start attacking from a different angle.
Right.
But we're bad about abandoning things accidentally.
Yeah, well, and I think that comes from her love of planning and my fly by the seat of my pants
Oh yeah,
type of mentality, because
yeah, it's a great combination.
it really is. We work really well together on that, because she will plan something to the nth degree, and then as soon as something happens that doesn't fall into that plan, it's like the plans went to shot and now we don't
Yeah.
know what to do, and I'm
So-
just like,
This
well, let's do this over here.
so that reminded me of something totally off topic.
Okay,
Okay, so I want to poll your audience here, if
Uh-oh.
that's okay.
let's pull
All
the
right.
audience.
And I'm not giving any information about why or anything. I don't want to talk about it. But
Okay.
if you're still watching, and maybe some of you are, I don't know. But if you're still watching, I want to know if you're at a family-friendly party. Yeah, it's true. Okay, everybody has to answer. You have to answer. If you're at a family-friendly party, no alcohol, not a club, all ages, you know, everybody's there, and there's a mechanical bull. Do you ride? Yes or no? Do you ride the bull at the family-friendly party or not? That's what I need to know.
Yes.
I already know that you'll do it.
Yes, I would ride the bull. Got to ride the bull.
Okay.
Absolutely. So, goals.
Sorry. So that was off topic, but
Ambitions.
if you would answer
See
in
those-
the comments, I would really appreciate it.
See those comments rolling
It's
in. But,
it's research.
goals, far off, ambiguous goals.
Ride or die.
I think that those are more ambitions, and those are important to have because they give us a direction to move forward.
Sure.
Actual goals are measurable. Hey, Becca. They're measurable. They're timely. They're something we can accomplish.
Becca, go back and watch earlier because your puppy was on here.
Yes. Yes, ride the bull.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yay.
They're measurable. They're obtainable, and you have a plan to get there. But then you're not so holding tight to that plan that it's not able to adapt to accomplish the goal. Because, as we all know, plans always fail. Plan on your plan. Failing. But yeah, that's our. I mean, is there anything else that you
I
think
don't
that
like
we
that you
missed?
said that plans fail.
Plans do fail.
If,
Tell me.
if you're approaching it the way you should, then plans don't fail. They change.
But then that means that plan failed. I assume Becca is JW. No. But yeah, I mean that means that the original plan has failed and we have to change it.
Doesn't mean it's failed.
It means it failed.
It means it grew and it changed and it's different now, and that's okay.
I don't think I like the way you put that, but it makes 100%
Just ride the bull.
100% sense. Plans grow. Huh. I like that.
You like that? We're writing this down. Okay.
Plans don't fail.
But if you add that letter, then it's not true.
Plans don't fail, they grow.
That's the way I like to look at it. Every
Holly.
year, every single year with our, sometimes the plans have to change to accomplish the goal. It's true.
Yes.
It's 100% true. But every single year that we plant a garden and that we have, we look back over our year with gardening, I feel like every year you are so discouraged and you're so disheartened by what we didn't do or how much more we could have done or how much better we could have been or how much more diligent we could have been.
I'm really not good at not being good at things.
But every year I can look at it and say, we didn't do nothing. And we really are not great gardeners. And I think on some level we even dislike gardening just a little. It's growing on us. It's growing on us.
I
That
like
was not
preparing
on
the
purpose.
garden. I like planting stuff, putting things in the ground. But it's that maintenance. It's that
Yeah.
nurturing part that I'm not a fan of.
So, but I feel like I'm able to look back and say, last year we were able to say we grew enough tomatoes to can multiple jars of our own tomato sauce, which
Yeah.
came in extremely handy over the winter months,
Yep.
especially when we were sick
Uh-huh.
and things. It was wonderful to have. And, other times, what?
And Sabrina brings up, continue.
And other times I think that there are other parts that we can look at and see where we did grow and where we did succeed, and not just see that it didn't fail.
Mm-hmm.
It just changed.
It's just changed. And you're right, having a plan B, C, D is important. But I think that personally, we end up trying to make a plan for all the possible outcomes or
true.
things that happen, and we're like stuck until we can figure out all the different plans.
Well, I really like to think about when I'm making a plan, what's the worst case scenario
what's
and what's
gonna
the
happen
best
with this?
case scenario.
So yeah, having a plan for this scenario and that scenario is not a bad thing, but I think that allowing yourself to be stuck in the planning stage is
Yeah.
probably, and that's one of the things that I struggle with. I mean, it's something that, with work I'm having to get my mind out of the planning mode, because I would research and plan all day long and not get any work done. And I've had to decide to say, you know what, this is enough planning.
Right.
Let's make some movement and then see what happens.
Yeah.
And then there's value to making detailed plans, but there's also probably more value to making movement. And then once you have movement in that plan, you can know what you actually have to. Hey, look at there.
7:01.
It's 7:01, and we've gotten through all of our topics.
I just
Yeah, way to go. We said, hey, we need to keep these things to an hour. And so I think that we're doing a little bit better with that.
I think so.
Not having too many notes.
Some people have watched this entire hour.
I know. Specifically, like
Because-
our kids. So.
No, more than just our kids.
Do you guys have any questions or additional thoughts regarding, homesteading plans, ambitions, things that you want to accomplish? We'd love to hear from you, because that's kind of why we're doing these live streams, is we want to be able to connect with the people that we love and that we love to be a part of, and those communities and everything. And it's a good way to talk about those things. And
Yes,
from you.
inevitably, every Sunday or Monday, Shaphan looks at me and says, so what should we talk about on our live this week? And I'm like, I don't know. So if there is something you would like us to talk about,
if
we
there's a
can. We are
certain-
experts in nothing, but
We're good at researching. So.
but,
Yes,
but
question
we
number
wouldn't
one.
mind.
How to homestead. All right. How to homestead is, first of all, you have to have a home.
Oh, we're out of time.
Oh, and that's it. Okay. join us next time, and we'll finish that conversation. All right, I tried the line at F. Yeah. I get into the double Z's, and it gets complicated. So, all right, thank you guys so much for watching. The dogs are getting a little restless, so we're gonna bug out of here. But we love you all. I'm glad that you enjoyed it.
I understand. It was
Yeah,
good to,
yeah, we got
glad
it.
that you joined us, Jennifer.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So, but yeah, we'll see you guys on the next video, and hopefully I'll get some time freed up to start editing some stuff. I've recorded a few videos, but I hadn't really been able to post much. But I enjoy doing these live streams. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.